dogs, this is Isaac here, and welcome back to Isaac Reviews 2021. Looks like Paramount Plus has dropped a new movie onto their streaming service out of butt nowhere in the form of Rumble, a movie that I vaguely remember seeing a trailer for when it first came out in early 2020, and I thought to myself, this'll probably suck. However, because of extenuating circumstances, the world shut down and several movies had to be delayed for long stretches of time. This, of course, affected Rumble, which was scheduled for a theatrical release in February of 2022, last time I checked. But soon out of nowhere, Paramount got the brilliant idea to just yeet it onto their streaming service with hardly any warning. At least the second trailer we got looked much better, and I will admit that the concept of monsters in WWE-style wrestling is pretty unique. Funny how I should mention WWE since this film was made by that company, and I'm mostly just surprised how Nickelodeon Movies wasn't involved with this whatsoever. But then again, they've already released 4 movies this year alone, so 5 might be overkill. But here it is now, available for all Paramount Plus subscribers to watch for the low price of their $10 a month subscription. Although usually I just create a fake account for a fake email account for something and cancel my subscription after a month, which is also what I did here. And was Rumble as bad as its first trailer made it out to be? Honestly, it kinda was. Okay, maybe it's not the worst thing ever, especially considering how it's only been a little over 4 months since we got the Paw Patrol movie, but, and here's the kicker here, Rumble sucked! And why is that exactly? Well, quite a number of reasons, but first some positives. For one, the animation looks pretty solid. Yeah, the color palette is a bit overly saturated, and the human designs aren't all that interesting, but the monster designs are pretty good and the wrestling scenes are fun to watch. Plus, there's some more minor aspects that I enjoyed, such as the great soundtrack, solid acting, and as previously mentioned, the interesting concept of giant monsters in professional wrestling. But I'm sure you were expecting me to have already started criticizing this movie by now, so I guess I've subverted your expectations a bit, But now let's talk about what I didn't like about Rumble, which is quite a bit. First of all, despite the cool concept, the writing is an absolute bore to sit through. It uses and abuses just about every sports movie cliche in the book, where you already know what'll happen after a couple of minutes, and as such, it just becomes hard to become invested in these characters or the conflict because they're not interesting. Seriously, aside from the 2 main characters and the main villain, hardly any of the characters serve a purpose besides making a lame joke or to help the main characters or serve as obstacles for them. Not to mention that the pacing here is insanely rushed, where the movie feels like it's moving at the speed of Officer Earl, and all I can do is just try to register what happened before the next plot point. And because of the awful pacing, there's not a whole lot of character development and even less answers to questions that we might have. Such as, why are monsters in this world? Why does Rayburn Jr. like dancing? What happened to Tentacular after he lost? All are questions that are basically forgotten. Kinda like a good majority of this film to me. So, in case you're wondering why I haven't given more of an in-depth analysis, there's your answer. I didn't care. In conclusion, I didn't have the highest hopes for Rumble, and yet it still turned out to be awful. Sure, the animation is nice and the voice acting is okay, but the writing is terrible and insanely predictable. The characters are either forgettable or annoying, the pacing is a mess, and the lack of questions answered is confusing at best and dumb at worst. Of course, I'd recommend skipping this one, unless you have anyone in your family younger than 10 who likes professional wrestling, and even then I'd say to watch that instead of this. So, all in all, since Paramount didn't care about making this a good movie, I guess I also don't care about it because, well, it's not a good movie. On to my rating. And that was my review for Paramount Plus's Rumble. I know that was pretty short, but I just didn't have too much to say about it because it was really forgettable. Also, in case you're wondering why I was a bit quieter in this review, it was a method I was using to improve my microphone quality where I'd like stand a bit farther from my mic. So, yeah, I hope that clears some stuff up for you all. But anyways, join me next time when we take a look at Spider-Man No Way Home. Honestly, even though I didn't like Far From Home, I am really excited for this. Hopefully it can be good, because the reviews are looking good, but we'll just have to wait and see. Even though this review will probably have come out by the time I've seen No Way Home. But maybe not, depending on how quickly I can edit it. I don't know, but yeah, No Way Home is next. Anyways, that's just about it for this episode of Isaac Reviews 2021. Thank you all for watching. Like and subscribe and stuff, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!